you today? I am fantastic. Let's put this up. Is it this one? Yes. Let's get started. Let's see. So, how are you today? Happy Friday! Friday! It's Friday. Yes, and it's Financial Friday, you guys. So, we are going to get started because I've been telling people how I love talking. I could talk about it all day. I could talk about money and how to help your family grow generational wealth all day. So give people time to get in here. Thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves. Let's go. Larger, come get it fire. Larger, feel like a star. Larger, here we're all equal. Larger, just make you fall. Larger, the legs off the larger. Come have some fun. Larger, he's the one. Larger, you know where to come. Larger, come get it fire. Larger, feel like a star. Larger, here we're all equal. Larger, just make you fall. Larger, the legs off the larger. Come have some fun. Larger, he's the one. Larger, you know where to come. Come on, it's Friday. I'm excited it's Friday. Thanks for coming through. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. On your way in, ring my bell. Ring my bell so you can get notified when I upload videos and become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here on the YouTube streets. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for being you on Financial Friday. Yeah, because it's about that money. Let's get that money. And I know that recently a lot of people have, look at this question. 401k took a nosedive recently. Let's look at a solution for that. Look, I'm a solutionator. Hashtag solutionator. Shirts coming soon. Okay. I'm gonna make a note of that because I did have it on the ready. I just have to select the font, If somebody can drop my Teespring link for my Teespring store, we have Really Bitch out just as requested. You can get your Really Bitch merch, and so that you can have that because I say that all the time. Because I'm from Oakland, and then I saw this guy doing like a town about town mic thing, and he's like, "What's the swear word for Oakland?" And if you're from Oakland, then you know that hella is a Oakland, California like swear word. I don't know. Everybody could tell you're from the Bay because you say hella, right? And it's very old, but it's still a tell. And so, but because of Too Short and his song, bitch, what do you know how he has that song, this is bitch. So they're like, bitch is the other word. And I'm from Oakland, and I have a tendency to be like, really, bitch? Really, bitch? Like when I'm just in talking. And so yeah, so you can get your Really Bitch merch. And then I also have the Most Benevolent Timeline merch available. Yep, so if you would like to. So anyway, we're here to talk about you though. We're here to talk about you. And what your money situation is. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Okay, because what I'm seeing is that there has been as a nosedive on a lot of people's 401k's. And that's supposed to be for your retirement, people. Have you ever wondered why you see so many people that look like somebody's grandmother at the front of Walmart talking about welcome? Because they didn't have a retirement. Nope. Some of them, I think, might want to just get out and go do something. But I'm thinking that a lot of them have to. And they might have to because they didn't have a retirement. And a lot of businesses don't offer even a 401k these days. But 401k, if you don't know, is a tax term that allows your employer to help you set aside funds that they then can match up to a certain amount. And you get to sock away money for savings under a retirement that you then can take out later and have taxes on all that money you sock away deferred. So like, let's say you get $1,600 a week. You want to put $800 in your 401k. So that means you're only going to be getting taxed in real time on $800 because you're putting $800 in your 401k, and those taxes will be deferred till later. Now, the one thing about taxes is, just like inflation, what do you think is going to happen later? I'll wait. Ding, 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 ding. You guessed it. Inflation and taxes are both going to be higher. So, is it really like what's it called? A good thing? Like, you really have to examine those. And even Time and Forbes, I believe, have both done articles about the ticking time bomb of a 401k and how it's not really the best thing it's not all the cake and bells and whistles they chopped it up to be. And a lot of people are on the horizon and facing an impending like doomsday with their retirement plans when they find out that it's going to go nuclear and freaking and have you end up in the front of Walmart talking about welcome because your retirement needed a makeover and you hadn't stopped by LRGA Curves on a financial Friday, so you wouldn't have known. But here I am. And look, some people might charge you for this, but I'm telling you this out of the goodness of my heart because I want to help you. Okay? And this also happens to be what I do for a living. I am a licensed financial professional, and this is not financial advice. You see that? You see that? Yeah. This is not financial advice. We're just talking about various solutions that may or may not work for your particular situation if your 401k happened to take a nosedive, okay? Now, can I get a 1 in the chat if you knew that a 401k was, in fact, a tax code? That's all it is. 401k is simply, if you look into tax codes, there's tax code 401k. And that simply means that you can defer your tax, whatever the rules are for that. And then we have other tax codes that allow various types of retirement to be accumulated. And we're going to get to those as various solutions so that you can stop being affected by the loss of this crazy S&P. Now, I decided to start with, like, I was going to do how, but me being my analytical self, we could start with what, okay? What? Let's see. So a 401k is an instrument that can be utilized to help you stack away for retirement, right? But if your 401k is taking a nosedive, then what you're going to need to do is look for a better position. That's simply what you're doing. You're taking money you already have socked away in a position that's supposed to be rendering retirement, and you're going to like roll it to another position that's going to get you guaranteed better position retirement. Okay? So this says how to roll over, but what is a rollover? In the world of retirement accounts and financial planning, the term rollover and rollout might sound familiar, but they mean very different things, okay? And here's a breakdown. Let me show us. I have images for us, you guys. Is this one? So, yeah. So, Rollover versus rollout. A rollover move money between retirement accounts. Is it a taxable event? No. But a rollout is you take money out of a retirement account. Is that a taxable event? Yes. So what does a rollover mean? A rollover refers to moving retirement funds from one qualified account to another qualifying account without triggering taxes or penalties. Usually leaving a job or changing financial strategies would be the two reasons, okay? So for all of the people right now who may be on a chopping block list for their job and they have their 401k squirreled away, look, now is the perfect time for you to get that and roll it over to a better position. And you take like maybe 10% out for cash on hand while you're looking for other stuff. And then you roll it into a better position because that company doesn't have your body there anymore. So they don't need to hold your money, right? That's your money. And plus, if you roll over your money, you get it into your direct control and out of their money, out of their control. So examples of a rollover is when you roll over from a 401k to when you roll over from a 401k to like a traditional IRA or from a TSP to an indexed annuity, and you're going to be looking, you should be on the search for any retirement accounts with the word indexed, because that usually means that there's some type of guarantee with protection. Okay. And also you can do a 403b. Now that's like for teachers be having 403bs. And you could take a 403b and roll it over to an IUL with the cash value rider. Those are all options to roll over monies. Now, the purposes of a rollover, and it's super simple. The purposes of a rollover would be to avoid taxes and penalties, consolidate retirement funds, get better growth and protection, like I just said, gain more control, like I just said. Who wants other people in charge of your money? You work hard for your money. So hard for it, honey. You work hard for your money, so you better treat it right. Oh, yeah. Right? Who wants to have somebody else in control of your money? That sounds like pimping to me. I told y'all I'm from Oakland. And you know, allegedly pimping was born in Oakland. I really doubt that because harlot's been around for a long time. Anyway, but there is that famous pimp from the Bay Area called Fillmore Slim. And he wanted control of the people's money. And they called it pimping. Anyway. So you want to gain that control and that flexibility with your rollover. Now, there can be cons about a rollover. So don't be mistaken. Everything you do has risk. You leave the front door, you just assume the risk. You are in the bathroom in there taking a bath and the floor is wet and you're walking around. You just assumed a little risk, didn't you? So there's a whole lot of risk happening. So a rollover is not a sacred place. That means it's not a place where risk doesn't happen. Because if the rollover is not direct, that means trustee to trustee. So Kaiser 401k to Core Bridge fixed annuity Core 10 product or solution. You see what I'm saying? So from a trustee, so the 401k is a savings plan that made the business the trustee. So you're going to take it from that trustee and now put it to a trustee that you control in the form of a solution like a fixed indexed annuity, like it said, an IUL, which is an index universal life, or something like that, or a Roth IRA or IRA, traditional IRAs. So taxes may be withheld and early withdrawal penalties may not apply if you redeposit that money within 60 days. Like all of these things are things that you're going to need to check into to make sure that you fit into this, okay? And I have a checklist for this also so that you can see if this is you, okay? Now, what about a roll out? Or, I mean, a rollover, a roll out, okay? So for this illustration, it says rollover, but I'm going to give you a definition that includes rollout being specific to TSPs, okay? And if you have a TSP, then you know. And if you don't, then you don't really need to worry about it. But it is a federally, it's like a federal 401k. So like if you work for the feds, you probably have a TSP. And also, if you're a teacher, you might have a TSA too. States and feds. So a rollout is not an official IRS term, but is sometimes used informally by professionals or custodians. Here, I got to turn my fan on. Sorry if you can hear it too much. Or custodians. And it just means withdrawing money completely from your retirement account into your personal bank account. So if you could do that, but you have to be prepared to pay the taxes on that money and whatever fees are associated. So if you roll out funds from a TSP, thrift spend account, or a 401k and take the money just as pure cash and don't reinvest it in that 60 days we mentioned earlier, like you just take your money, it results in immediate taxes on the entire amount. So if you took out $250,000 in your 401k and aren't going to roll it over from trustee to trustee and you're just going to try to have that money for yourself, you're going to trigger an immediate tax result on the entire $250,000. That's $250,000 at whatever tax bracket you're reporting at, right? And plus, you're going to suffer a 10% early withdrawal penalty if you're under the age of 59 and a half. Now, if you know anything about retirement accounts, since they're for retirement, there's usually little triggers involved to help you keep it until retirement age, which is around 65. So they don't want really people messing with this until they're at least 59 and a half. So almost 60, right? And at that time, you can usually, at 59 and a half, you can have access to your money with no taxes. But if it's before 59 and a half and it's not from that rollover event, then there's a 10% early withdrawal fee on top of immediate taxes due. So let's say you're paying 34% taxes. Well, you just did 44% basically, because you're about to get a 10% penalty from you taking your own money that you worked hard for your money. We already established how hard for it, honey, that you worked. You worked hard for your money and they taxed your ass and penalized it. Is that okay? I don't think so. So that's why I want to help you reposition your monies into a better solution that has your control, your flexibility, the no penalties, and is in a tax advantaged way. Okay. So we're going to look at some of those things. Okay. Plus you have a loss of tax advantage growth, like we already said. So an easy way to remember is a rollover is moving money between retirement accounts, simply. Just between them, between similar accounts. So like if I just told you a fixed indexed annuity account can be used as a retirement account. Therefore, if you took it from a 401k at Kaiser and you put it into a fixed indexed annuity over at North American or something like that, bam, is it taxable? Nope, not if it's done correctly, which a licensed professional can help you do, right? Whereas a rollout, that means you just want your money. You didn't get fired, because when you get fired, you get access. You didn't retire, because when you retire, you get access. You're not 59 and a half, because when that happens, you can have access. You just want your money, and you're not going to put it in another account. You're not going to take it from a like account and put it in a like account. You're going to take it from a like account and put it in your pocket. Like we said, that's going to trigger some taxes on you, right? Plus penalties, okay? So now let's look at how to roll over. It's super simple. So like, let's say you did make an appointment with me. This is not financial advice, but if you did make an appointment with me, then you would it's this one. Yeah. So if you did make an appointment with me, then you would be able to see that what these various solutions could look like in terms of actual numbers and garnering results for you. Now to roll over, TSA 403B account. Just a second. Yeah, because we're going to do that. So when you're rolling over a 401k the right way, you're going to, like I said, you're going to be avoiding those taxes and you're going to keep your money growing. Over here, we all about creating a larger life. I do have another channel that's called Larger Life, which is specifically for my finance. We're slow and steady wins the race over here. And since you guys like coming over here talking about this stuff, I decided to tell you where you already are because you got to meet people where they at, right? And you guys are at here. Okay, so first what you're going to do is confirm you're eligible. Number one, admit there's a problem. No. Confirm eligibility. Now, doesn't that make sense? You can typically roll over a 401k if you've left your job or got fired, right? There's a lot of firings happening right now from people who may have had a job like at Google or something like that, or they may have had a job at Kaiser, or they may have had a job at I don't know, lots of different places. Lots of job losses are happening right now. So if you left your job, now is the perfect time to call assistant, okay? Because we can reposition that money so that you're not getting taxed on it because you're using it, okay? Plus, we can get you some money to use. Okay, so you can typically roll it over. Also, like I keep on mentioning, if you're 59 and a half years old, then you can roll it over. If your plan allows you in-service rollovers. So I heard that are businesses that offer in-service rollovers. Here. Let's see. So, and that's a real perk. So if you do get a job that could offer you an in-service rollover to a better position, that means they really care. Okay. So there are Fidelity, Vanguard, T. Rowe Price. It sounds like a lot of financial places offer in-service rollovers. Charles Schwab, Lincoln Financial, Transamerica, Nationwide. Okay. Yeah, so we could talk to your 401k provider together. That's no problem, right? So like you call me, we call them, bam. And we'll see if you're even eligible for an in-service rollover. And if not, then we have to look at what you are eligible for, right? Because that way we can still explore your growth and protection options. Now, okay, step 2 is decide where to roll it over, okay? So first you see if you're eligible, then you decide what structure, solution you want, right? So where? So let's say you choose a new retirement account to suit your goals. Let's go over what those goals could entail. Do you want to keep your money tax deferred with growth and more investment choices? Do you want to pay taxes now and grow tax-free forever? Do you want to protect your principal and receive future income? Do you want to have a tax-free retirement? And with life insurance plus living benefits, there are like a bevy of solutions. I'm telling you, I'm your girl. I'm a solutionator. We got you, okay? Now, if you do want to keep it tax deferred, the solution would be a traditional IRA. If you want to pay taxes now and grow tax-free forever, that's a Roth IRA. If you want to protect your principal and receive future income, that's a fixed indexed annuity. If you want to have a tax-free retirement with life insurance and living benefits, that's an index universal life. So all of these different solutions could be a viable option for you to stop the loss on that 401k, right? If it took a nosedive. Now, when you, in number 3, so first you're eligible, then you decide where to put it. Number 3 is you're going to open the new account. So you're going to select a reputable provider or advisor, right? Complete the new account paperwork, right? Because we already checked eligibility and we already decided where we're going. So we did the heavy lifting. Now it's just paperwork, right? And you're going to request a direct rollover. I can be on the phone to help you do that. Most important, to avoid the taxes, okay? We have to request a direct rollover, remember, from trustee to trustee, from retirement account to retirement account, because you do not want to trigger an immediate tax event by taking that money out the wrong way, okay? Then number 4, you're going to contact that 401k provider, call the number on your statement or in your whole human resources portal. And you're going to tell them, hello. No, first, okay. Me. Ring, 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 ring. Yes, hello. Hi, this is Miss Jane Doe. I want to do a direct rollover of my 401k to my new IRA, IUL, or annuity account. Well, Miss Jane Doe, we're sorry to see you go. Where shall we send the funds? Or do you want a check or a wire transfer for that? The best practice is to have the check made out to your new account custodian or have the wire done immediately there, okay? You want to have fidelity for the benefit of Jane Doe is how they'll stamp that. Or you want to just transfer the funds, like I said, directly via wire. And because if they mail the check to you, don't cash it. You're taxable. It'll be taxable. You don't want to do that. And you only have 60 days, okay? Forward it to your new account provider within 60 days. We just talked about that. A trustee to trustee transfer is tax-free and penalty-free. So if you want to have more coin for your oin, then you're going to want to do this the right way, okay? Now, this all is in the checklist that I also have created, okay? And then this step will protect you from a 20% IRS withholding plus that penalty we were talking about. Number 6 step is you're going to verify the investment. You're going to confirm your rollover was received. You're going to allocate the funds into the appropriate investments. Because one of the things I mentioned earlier was control. And control means that you can opt into various structures that can garner your various goals, right? So like we said, do you want tax protection? Do you want to capitalize on gains? Or do you want to like slow and steady something, you know, and maybe have a lower cap or what, right? So there's a lot of things to consider. And then you're going to allocate those funds to the appropriate investments or solutions or structures, as we like to say. And you're going to update your beneficiaries because everything we do is for somebody else in life, right? Everything. I mean, the only reason we show up to the work is for the people that we love are relying on us to get what they need, right? Or else we wouldn't be bothered with the people. Anyway, so you're going to update the beneficiaries, which is your reason for living, right? And, oh, excuse me. The fan is blowing right in my throat. I hope it's not too loud. Let me turn that up. Okay. So I had this one client, and she had been divorced for 3 years. And since that time, she had another boo and everything. And we called to verify if she was eligible to transfer. She was a teacher. So we called to see if she could do her TSA account. And they were like, yeah, sure, there's $25,000 in there. You can roll it over, no problem. In the meantime, we were like, well, what's the beneficiary on the account? 3 years later. So had she kaputted, the beneficiary on there was still her ex-husband, even though she had, put in writing, to change that. So if the only thing you get from this Financial Friday with LRGA Curves today is to go call your thing and check your beneficiaries today, then that's what you do. Okay? That's what you'll do. Okay? Because she would have been so pissed. Her ghost would have been so pissed if he would have got all of this shit. She divorced his ass for a reason. Okay? So here are some important notes. You want to, there are some mistakes that you want to avoid, and here are some reasons why it matters. So, taking a check made out to you. You just created a taxable event. The IRS cares about that. And if you didn't put for the benefit of then your name, yeah, they'll treat it as a withdrawal and not a rollover. And what did we say would happen? On the cash value of that check, and you're going to get penalized, okay? Missing the 60-day deadline. I keep talking about you have 60 days to get that money to your new account, because the IRS may apply taxes and penalties if you're outside of that window. Now, if you're not reviewing the fees or options, you can end up paying more or growing your taxes. So you have to be really into, now that you have control, how did you structure this? Is it going to have a fee that you don't know about in the fine print later? I hope not, because you did your due and you reviewed the fees and options, okay? Now, lots of reasons why to roll over. You gain access to better investments. You eliminate old employer restrictions. They don't care about you anyway. They was only going to give you a watch after working there 40 years. They don't care. They don't care. So you get that money to a place where you control it, okay? And you're going to possibly lower those fees. We always want more money in our money and not less money where our money was at, okay? And then we're going to consolidate accounts for faster growth, and while you're protecting your retirement with new options like these IULs and these indexed annuities that offer guaranteed growth with no downside, okay? Now, there's something else I wanted to show you. So, here are some recommendations. Again, if you are still working and receiving an employer match, what I tell most of my clients is, if you are blessed in a job where they care enough to match what you are putting in, if they do it to like, they usually cap it. Like, I'm from the 80s. They used to match it. Like, and if you put your whole, you take your first check home for your rent and utilities and gas and the rest of the month, because that used to be one check. And then you would take your second check from that month and you could put your whole thing in your 401k, and your boss would match the whole $2,400 or the whole $1,600 or $18, whatever it was. They would match the whole thing. So you would put two and get two, so you ended up doubling your money on your retirement. That used to be the days. But nowadays, a lot of them have the old cap-a-roo. Like the kids say, no cap is not a good thing, okay? So you don't want no cap. And if you do have a cap, then you want it at least where the zero is your hero and there's a cap on the floor too. So a lot of these caps only work one way. They want to stop your growth, but you have all the loss. The caps I'm talking about are, yeah, you might cap out at 16%, but if the market dips below, then you're holding strong. You're not losing any of that. Okay. So then also we have a traditional IRA. This is ideal if you want more investment control and no employer match, though. So you're doing it all on your own, but hey, you could end up in a way better position, typically, um, depending on the timing and things like that. But control alone, I mean, think about it. We literally pay a fee in our society for convenience to make it easier to access. Yet we're giving away the thing we pay for the convenience fee with, which is our money. We give away access to our money to the next person. That does not sound logical. You guys need to get your stuff together and get it back in your control. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. There's a Roth IRA, and that's great for younger investors and those expecting higher taxes in retirement. So Roth IRA, we had already said that those were good for certain types of growth, right? Sorry. To pay taxes now and grow tax-free forever. So you put the money on there now, like, so you get your check from work, and that same $800, if it's not getting matched at work, but you still want to nest away $800, then go ahead and stick it away in your Roth IRA. It's going to get taxed now, so you might really only be depositing like what, 760, I don't know. Anyway, but later on, it's just growing tax free forever. So there's no tax event at 59 and a half or anything. So that's a really good solution. And then I love the IULs, Index Universal Life, also called a family bank, also called $1 million baby, also called a succession plan, also called so many different things that you could do for your business or for you personally. And this is an opportunity, and this is best for high earners, for legacy builders, or for those seeking tax-free income and living benefits. So this is regular schmegular people can get this. They say it's best for high earners because the structure is such that the more you put in, the better it is, right? So that's why they say if you already have money and you put it there, then you're just gonna like really compound that growth. But regular schmegular people, hey, we could get you might not be a super high earner, but if we got you like $1 million baby plan, or some type of plan right now for you as a younger person, and we schedule the premiums to go up later, very good solution for you. Now, if your goal again, you might want to take a screenshot of this. I'll let you go ahead. So again, if your goal is to lower taxes, you're going to look at a Roth IRA or an IUL. If your goal is market protection, you're going to look at an IUL. If your goal is access to funds before 59 and a half, because you want that control, you're going to have an IUL, Index Universal Life, IUL. If your goal is to pass the money to heirs tax-free, you're going to want a Roth IRA or an IUL, okay? If you want to get some free money, then you're in an employer match, then you're going to want to look at that 401k or TSP and get in on that while you're at your employer's job. And if you want to fund large amounts annually with no IRS cap, if structured right, then you're going to be looking at an Index Universal Life. Now, you can see from just these options here that there's one thing mentioned almost every time, and that's an IUL. You see how an IUL covers pretty much everything except the employer match because it's not from an employer, okay? But an IUL is a fantastic solution to shore up your retirement goals, okay? Let's see, was there something else I want to show you? We looked at that. Okay, so we're gonna finish it up here. with your next steps. Okay, Curvy Crew? Because I'm not leaving you with nothing. This is good information. This is excellent information. And I really hope that you took a minute. Oh, the Chihuahua? Let me show you. Thanks for asking that question. Because I thought he was cute for one. And because you usually teach a dog to roll over. And I had said how to roll over. And so I put the little doggy there because you usually teach a doggy to roll over. And I just thought he was a little cute dog. He's my rollover puppy. And, you know, if I can teach my puppy how to roll over, then duh, we can roll over money if we could teach a dog, right? Because humans are not dogs. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I had the little Chihuahua sharpshooter. But let's look at the next steps. Okay, so you're going to want to take a screenshot and you're going to review your current retirement account statements. You're going to book a one-on-one session to go over your options with the licensed professional in your state. You're going to use a tax smart strategy to roll over without penalties after you check if you're eligible and decide what account you want to go to and all of that stuff. And you're going to customize your plan for growth, protection, and legacy. Okay? Because the retirement money makeover is going to warrant that you roll over some stuff these days. I'm not sure. I have friends that have lost like a lot of money in their proverbial accounts. Okay? So, you guys, I hope you got something out of this on our Financial Friday. I hope it was fun for you guys over here in the LRGA Curves. LRGA Curves. And that we are, and that you took some good notes and got some screenshots and some good ideas on how to shore up your retirement. And even if you're a millennial and you're thinking, oh, that's not me, it's you. It's you. And the better thing is to start now while you're young and healthy and lock in these gains. And then even if while you're young, if you invest and structure things right, you could structure something so that you can retire early. If you really start thinking about things now, you can like be 35 and be retired by the time you're 50, be retired by the time you're 45. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you're doing with your money and how you're structuring it to grow and what you're willing to risk and do without, so that the long-term goal of your investment is paying off. Because I'm definitely living my best life. And I hope that you're living your best life too. Okay, let's see. What is this doing? So we're going to be out of here. Thanks again for coming through. Actually, let me see if I can do this real quick, because I'd be asking for my link to get dropped to my Teespring. And I didn't see that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link real quick to the store. You guys can go in there and look around for some stuff in the store. Do you have any questions before I go? Any questions about a rollover, a rollout? How to check, where to check? Okay. Well, the link I just dropped is for my Teespring store. If you want to get some merch, we have some merch down here at the bottom of the screen. You can see some of it. There's way more at the store. Let's see. And yeah, let's go out then. I don't see any new questions. Let's go here. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? No way. Thanks for coming to Financial Friday. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the bell. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring. Happy Friday. And it's Friday the 13th, by the way. So I hope you're having an extra lucky day, because 13 is not unlucky. It's just about the feminine energy. And so no wonder they tried to make it evil, right? Because we were all witches. Anyway, but yeah, happy Friday the 13th. Remember, there's enough to go around, so go get some. I'll see you in the next video, Curvies. Leave it in the comments.